What a big left hook by Diaz. Marquez trying to fire back. Lands a right cross and a left hook. Round one is an all-out war.
All this level.
February 28th, 2009. The Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. On paper, it was just a lightweight title fight. But in reality, it was a battle for the future of their careers. In one corner, Juan Manuel Marquez, Dinamita, 35 years old, a master technician who felt as though the sport was trying to push him out. Fresh off a close loss to Manny Pacquiao, he needed to prove that he was still the king. In the other corner, the baby bull, Juan Diaz, 25 years old, the hometown hero, faster, younger, and fighting in his own backyard. The question on the boxing world's mind, could the veteran tame the young bull? For Marquez, this training camp wasn't just practice, it was about his legacy. Under the guidance of the legendary Nacho Beristain, Marquez prepared for war. Critics claimed he was slowing down. They said he was too old for the lightweight division. Meanwhile, in Houston, Juan Diaz was on a mission of redemption. After a shocking loss to Nate Campbell the previous year, Diaz needed to prove he wasn't just hype. He promised volume. He promised pressure. He promised to send the legend into retirement. Here, they would contest the vacant WBO title and the IBO lightweight world title held by Juan Diaz. Entering the fight, Juan Manuel Marquez held a record of 49 wins, 36 by knockout, with 4 losses and 1 draw. Diaz, on the other hand, possessed 34 wins, 17 by knockout, and only a single defeat. At the opening bell, Juan Diaz wasted no time. He immediately demonstrated why he was called the baby bull. Showing zero respect for Marquez's power, he simply charged forward relentlessly.
Good straight left hand by Diaz, and the chopping left hook in the corner. Marquez hasn't found the counter-punching rhythm.
And to me, one clean blow yet at this stage.
Face of Diaz's aggression. Diaz showing respect, but ripping Marquez with another left hook. 3 body shots from Marquez. Diaz goes in with the right hand. This is going to be a hellacious war.
Unlike between a younger and older fighter, in this case, the early rounds seem to favor Diaz, where he can take
His way into the fight.
The question to me right now is Diaz is hitting Marquez for the most part. I thought this was what we just see starting the back and forth round, but not in the...
Marquez land a couple of clean, maybe he's already made.
Well, serves him well, not just in the...
Not to mention the well-known cultural Mexican tradition of willing to mix it up.
And are they ever? What a big left hook by Diaz. Marquez trying to fire back, lands a right cross and a left hook. Round one is an all-out war.
And even though they weighed in the same, and I guess tonight, forcing Marquez to back up.
With the sole exception of its one loss in the case, slows a little bit in the second round. You saw the left-hand uppercut. Body shots by Diaz. Get the hunch that Marquez is going to need to stay off the ropes, Emmanuel.
Yes, and I don't think he's going to do that. And the way that Diaz is punching, he's got his head down more, where he's getting better leverage in the exchanges, and Marquez's head is up more.
And they may be on their feet all the way.
Where he can maximize his strength.
Big left hook, staggers Marquez. Marquez in trouble and trying to fight his way out of it.
And he was stunned there. His instinct is to fire right back.
This might have been gone right there. It was an unbelievable.
That I mentioned from Marquez has the same thing inside him.
In fact, comparison for what round one looked like, it looked like a round out of a Morales-Barrera fight.
And so does this one.
He's in the round. Big left hook by Diaz, straight right hand by Marquez. Diaz jabbing and hunting. Marquez going to the body and coming back up.
Pretty sure the Marquez is going to find
power, but you have to wonder about those reflexes.
And particularly giving the wars. Every once in a while, they go off the diving board all at once. But he's looked really good in the first couple rounds against a guy who's looked just a tiny bit. Stopping Diaz in his tracks. And tracks they are. As Juan stalks and...
This is the Juan Diaz that had the boxing world buzzing before his loss to Nate Campbell.
What a win. What determination. Good.
Marquez's level is just as good sometimes.
Good right hand by Marquez. Real fighter, they love this kind of competition. A lot of Marquez had to be man against boy. Well, how do you have it so far?
I'll get you 3 this time. I saw 3 judges go for the draw. There he is. Back to this fight. Juan Diaz keeps walking him down, laying him to his head, and stand there and slug with Diaz. Juan Diaz led the more clean sets. Just what he's doing right there. 3-0 Diaz.
You know, I understand that score, and Diaz is imposing his kind of fight. But I'll tell you the truth, punches.
Well, I think he might be a harder puncher, but as we pointed out, is by nature the bigger man.
He has thrown a hook and needs to block it, then shoot his counter hook at the exact same time.
And brilliant so far at finding those moments when Marquez's right hand is slightly dropped. He's landed several flush left hooks.
Yeah, and he gets maximum level. He hunches his body forward in a Joe Frazier type style, where his left hook has tremendous force. Because he has his weight leaning right into the position where...
4-punch, counter-punch combination. Why should a fight like this even be scored? 38 out of 96 as opposed to first time in the fight, Harold Letterman.
I agree with you, Matt. He rests the nation, particularly at the end of the round.
Diaz is established.
Diaz again, imposing his will against Marquez on. Now Marquez will look to land action, and he nails Diaz with 2 uppercuts. Straight right hand down the pipe. Whoever throws more body punches may ultimately be the
I tell you what, this is going to be a tough fight right here.
Rarely see all those elements combined.
big
in a
body
fight.
shot by Marquez.
And the referee, Rafael Ramos, has not had to break these guys up for one.
Reminiscent of Corrales and Castillo. Which is a fast-paced,
Hard tree, I believe, on our competitor network, Showtime. One difference, the heavier punches, but neither of them had the... Good left hook by Diaz. Teachers will hold up under all this level. Go to the head. Marquez has been cut in that same spot before. Nacho Beristain has worked that badly in the Campbell fight. But other than that, his features are... Another big left. Solid body shot against the ropes.
It's sign of a very intelligent fighter.
Uppercut, uppercut, uppercut. How many times do you see that? Left hook, back into the ropes. All out war.
Those are exchanges there.
Diaz eats a hard
rounds, Juan Diaz just pummels him like you're watching right here. When a fight goes into the center of the ring, Juan Manuel is good and using his size by going up on the ropes. 4-2, Juan Diaz.
Juan Manuel Marquez than anybody has ever beat. Rocky Juarez. Straight right hand. Left hook, body shot, left hook to the body, all by Juan Diaz. Now Marquez tries to come back.
He's just going to be able to maintain all of the meantime. Diaz is pushing him over.
And it looks as though the stamina advantage is beginning.
A bit with his mouth open since the third round.
Well, that's whenever Diaz is, but he's standing a lot of clean blows.
Two straight right hands by Marquez. Two more big left hooks by Diaz. Drives Marquez back against the ropes. Lands a straight right hand of his own. Marquez trying to counter again, keeping the pressure on. He listened to Ronnie between rounds. He's not in January. It was a tremendous crowd in Staples Center in Los Angeles for seeing now this. Economic conditions, and fans are responding.
And that from Marquez, which has been maybe his most effective punch.
Along with the straight in the first minute of the 8th round. There comes the up. Diaz isn't landing many of these.
No.
But he's asserting his energy again. Just there by the baby bull. That cut, he'll have to go to work on Diaz
That's
between
exactly the
rounds.
same thing as for the pride of his country. You know, even though they're both supposed to be Mexican, right, said it's Diaz, a half Mexican. He's American Mexican.
What action.
This is amazing.
Marquez is a good defensive fighter, but Diaz continues to land the flusher, harder shots.
And as the blood rises,
Diaz did not respond well to the cut dire way here against Marquez.
well, we told you how Marquez adjusts and
Yeah,
comes
Marquez-
on.
And he's
Marquez
Diaz.
had it hurt.
Diaz got caught with a left hook, and he looks stunned.
25 seconds to go. Can the great technician find a way?
And you know, Marquez is an experienced fighter, and he can...
By CompuBox numbers. Diaz land.
And it's on Diaz.
Another get the fight, and Diaz is starting to rip right now, seeming a little bit. You know, center wrestler came clean for that night, and Marquez said he never would dream at that time, especially being that he was only 16, that he would end up fighting with Diaz.
So warm, so personable. They're taunting each other in the ring there.
Though Marquez is the much more experienced, in fact, it's Diaz who's had more of a fight.
And he's supposedly the stronger man.
And he's hurt.
A huge uppercut. Down goes Diaz.
Well, it's all because he doesn't know how to clinch.
Can he make it out of the ring? 35 seconds to go. A
experienced fighter would probably clinch, but I don't think that's what he's going to do.
And look at Marquez go to the body. Look at him go to the body to try to set up the finish. And what a right hand. And that will be that.
What you just saw was a really good young fighter knocked out by a great old fighter.
Absolutely.
And you're pound for pound number one.
Maybe. Just my
No,
mind.
that's what you said. You're good rounds to say.
Say this.
Let's jump into round 9. This is where the tide completely turned. We know Baby Bull Juan Diaz controlled the early rounds with his sheer aggression and volume, but you can see here that Dinamita is moving differently now. At this point, Diaz is exhausted, and he's got a bad cut over his right eye. This is exactly the moment Marquez has been waiting for. Boom! There it is. A vicious combination from Marquez. 2 consecutive right hands landing flush on Diaz's face. Diaz goes down. First knockdown. You can see the shock on his face. He tries to get up immediately, but his legs are unsteady. Diaz manages to stand, but Marquez smells blood. He is not letting him off the hook. Watch this finishing sequence. He sets it up to the body, and boom! Right uppercut, right on the button, lights out, no count needed. Referee Rafael Ramos waves the fight off immediately. A clean technical knockout, TKO, at the 2:40 mark of round 9. After being behind early in the fight, Marquez showed the world why he is the true master of counterpunching.